If you didn't watch the morning show, man, that sucker streamed perfect. I think it was even better than the cable internet I had when I lived up in the city. I mean, it was awesome. Hopefully they can get the nighttime to work just like it does in the day. So take two. All right, so a 315 billion ton iceberg the size of Sydney breaks off an Arctic ice shelf. And you'd think right off the bat they're going to call climate change. But hey, they didn't do it this time. Scientists were surprised a 315 billion ton iceberg roughly the size of Sydney broke off where it did, but said climate change isn't to blame. The 1,636 square kilometer, man, you just love the numbers they use, iceberg named D28 separated away from the ice shelf in East Antarctica on Saturday. Experts said the separation was overdue. They had predicted a large iceberg would break off the shelf sometime between 2010 and 2015, but it's taken this long for any such separation to occur, and it happened in a different spot than where the scientists anticipated. So yeah, it's a pretty good hunk of ice. How they wanted to tow these big ice chunks over to these places that couldn't get water. So anyway, I can't believe that they didn't use climate change for this. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Now you watch the fake mainstream news come out and say this was caused by climate change. We'll see here. Here's the thumbnail. It's already been deleted, but you can see over here, it was showing a 9.0 earthquake over here in Africa. Now this isn't the first time this has happened. Now it's off the feed now, and they don't have it on here no more. It happened back in September. Check this out. It was farther south. Magnitude 9.0 quake reported in Atlantic Ocean off the Africa coast. This time it was over the land, but there wasn't no quake. So this was back on 9/9/2019. Magnitude 9.0 has reportedly struck in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Africa, according to the global incident map. Their map has showed a 9.0 glitch over here in Africa. What's up? When you see that, then you look at the Sahara dust, you're wondering, you know, was there an explosion over here? Which I did have the global incident map up, see if there is an explosion over there. So we do. We have a bomb incident explosive hoax device. General terrorism news, kidnappings, what the heck's going on over here? Another explosive hoax devices. So anyway, just another weird anomaly out there. So over in Seattle, the new Highway 99 tunnel opened in February has been constructed to withstand a powerful 1 in 2,500 year earthquake, or roughly a 9.0 magnitude off the Washington coast. So if you live out in this area, I don't know if I'd go into any kind of, I wouldn't want to be in a cave or a tunnel or anything. I don't think I would trust this tunnel. But anyway, they say they designed it to withstand a 9.0. Hopefully we won't never have to see if it withstands it. We also got Verizon bringing 5G technology to most under-resourced students. It's breaking down the digital divide in the process. 5G wireless technology, doctors can perform remote surgeries on patients thousands of miles away without worrying about a lag. Well, hey, I'm lagging right now. We're dropping frames like we're going out of style. And, you know, that's what they're doing. They're going to try to make the internet suck so bad that you have to get 5G. That's what they're trying to do. So while we're still down in the south here, revealed the Australian companies manipulating the weather. For over 5 decades in Australia, the study of clouds, rain, and atmosphere has been largely hidden from the public. As a secretive network of government agencies, private businesses, interests continue to manipulate the weather around the world for personal benefits. You know, I got a couple clips, mainstream clips I can play, if it'll play without dropping too many frames. Coming out of Australia, I got a new one here that I haven't seen yet.
To start the new month, claims tonight international vapour trails laid by international organisations could be filling central west skies with dangerous chemicals. Opponents of these mysterious chemtrails, which have been appearing over Dubbo and other central west centres.
There's a growing belief that chemtrails, as they're known, are part of a secret international strategy to inject fine particles into the upper atmosphere to reflect sunlight back into space and prevent global warming.
This is a disgrace that our government is allowing the US.
This argues science is being perverted to change local weather patterns and keep Australia in drought.
These weirdly shaped vapour trails above Dubbo make curious patterns, but concerns tonight it could signal a systematic poisoning of the skies above Western New South Wales. Jet planes often leave contrails, but these vapour trails aren't on any recognised flight paths, and they run closely parallel and cross over in gigantic X shapes, forming giant grid patterns across the sky. And it's not just Dubbo, these are happening worldwide. There's a growing belief that chemtrails, as they're known, are part of a secret international strategy to inject fine particles into the upper atmosphere to reflect sunlight back into space and prevent global warming.
This is a disgrace that our government is allowing the US to spray barium, aluminium and all sorts of toxic aerosol chemicals under the banner of repelling sunlight.
Critics equate the program to the 1950s radioactivity experiments using human guinea pigs. They're also dismissing reports of a seasonal link between a spike in the number of the sky trails and the end of the first quarter of the year.
The public deserve to know that these contrails have health implications, right? Let alone their disorganised weather patterns leading to less rainfall, much like dead paddocks with dead biology won't attract rain like a living pasture will.
Residents in southern Tasmania are demanding to know why cloud seeding was conducted over the Derwent River catchment the day before the worst floods in 40 years. Cloud seeding is a technique used to increase rain. Hydro Tasmania has confirmed it flew a cloud seeding flight despite the weather warnings. Farmers believe the technique could have made the flooding worse.
Yeah, so there you go. There's some mainstream for the parents out there that don't believe they're doing it. And then we have this article here where it shows all the climate engineering, the radiation management to reflect aerosols, space smears, cloud seeding, you know, you name it, creating the rain, plain vapor trails above Adelaide. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I've seen these are all on weathermodificationhistory.com. Project Storm Fury goes down under. Here's a little more recent here, November 2007. Turnbull pumps $10 million into a rain-making gamble. See, they've been doing this for so long, man, and they just keep it hid from the normal public. You know, why does a mainstream media, your local meteorologist, instead of saying, hey, yeah, there's some planes out here blocking some sunlight today, they just call them filtered clouds, or they'll call them high clouds or filtered clouds, filtered sky. That's just code word for chemtrails. You know, cirrus clouds are chemtrails. Chinese scientists develop handheld sonic weapons for crowd control. So it's a gas-powered device passed for mass production after 2 years of research. You know, you got some crazy stuff going on over here. If you can get the videos, that's something you need to watch, man. Get the techniques from them. So China has developed the world's first portable sonic gun for riot control. The rifle-shaped instrument, which was jointly developed with military and law enforcement, is designed to disperse crowds using focused waves of low-frequency sound. Wonder if they could cause an earthquake with this thing. The device's biological effect could cause extreme discomfort, you know, like torture, with vibrations in the eardrums, eyeballs, stomach, liver, and brain, scientists said, so they can make them crap their pants. You know, they use something similar to this up in New Jersey on the kids. New York, New Jersey, they have these sonic things up on the light poles, and they shoot a frequency out that adults can't hear. We've reported on that, where it keeps the kids out of the parks at night. We may have to take a look at that a little later here, another show or something. You know, we're seeing these AI taking over jobs and jobs and jobs. Well, even the robotic flaggers to start popping up at construction sites across Oregon. So instead of paying a guy, you know, 17, 20 bucks an hour to stand out here burning his feet, they're just going to put, you know, little AIs out here. So more jobs to take away from humans. If that's not bad enough, the UPS gets FAA nod for widespread drone deliveries. So these drones are going to be going all over the skies. You know, they got cameras on them, and they'll be filming everything everywhere they're going. They got to have cameras to see where they're going. We had to get a windshield on our car, and we didn't even know it. We got, I think it's like a 2017 Corolla, Toyota Corolla. When they popped out the windshield, he disconnected this camera. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't even know there was a camera in the windshield. I guess it's for the keep you in the lanes. I have all that assist crap turned off. I don't like that stuff. Don't trust it. But yeah, there's a camera built in the windshield underneath the rear view mirror pointed out. So it kind of freaked us out that we didn't even know it was there. So we need like EMP grenades or something. All our farmlands have been flooded, and you know, they're ruining and destroying crops all over the world. China buys 600,000 tons of soybeans from the US. So, you know, we're going to be needing that food next year, and we're not going to have it now because they just sold 600,000 tons away to the so-called enemy. So more of our food resources not only are being damaged, destroyed, and now they're selling it. That's the way the government works. Remember, Al Gore made nearly $2 million from the global warming scam. He's likely to become the first world's carbon billionaire. Let's not let that happen. You know, he predicted that the Arctic would become ice-free within the next decades and that polar bears would begin drowning. Both claims were untrue. Nothing he said has come to fruition. It's all a hoax. But people like him are going to continue to get rich. Soros is going to continue to fund these campaigns to help bring in the New World Order. That's what they want. You know, we had Hurricane Michael that went through. It was a weapon. Hurricane Michael was a weapon. Hurricane Dorian was a weapon, and so is Lorenzo. And what do? They clear the way for the 5G.
One wireless company stepping.
Panama City gets 5G connectivity. What a better way to do it. Clear out all the trees, clear out the buildings, and put your 5G infrastructure in, your Skynet system. September 27th, Verizon has just announced it's officially turning the power on to the 5G in Panama City. $25 million investment plan to aid in the city in hurricane recovery. So instead of giving this $25 million back to the people to build their homes, they're going to give you the 5G grid instead. You know, it's pretty ridiculous that we continue to let these governments get away with this robbery that they're doing to us. So I did have some articles here up in the 1700s, how scientists know when the last big earthquake happened. At approximately 9 p.m. Pacific time, January 26, 1700, a magnitude 8 or 9 earthquake occurred on the Cascadia subduction zone, a 600-mile wide stretch between Vancouver Island, British Columbia, and it gets into all the evidence. You know what? I probably need to jump into the weather stuff. All these links are in the description. Let's go ahead and jump into the weather real quick. Yeah, here's another article I had up. It will take a tsunami 3 hours to strike Tacoma if a 9.0 quake hit off the coast. Let me go ahead and bring up the worldview map, let that thing get to loading. And hopefully, like I said, we'll be able to get this stream fixed by tomorrow. We won't have to deal with the buffering and I had to turn down the resolution and all that crap. So hopefully one more night, guys, we'll have the internet running good. All right, so let's get that loaded. Here's Lorenzo over here. All right, guys, welcome in. We're in the green this morning. So I tried everything to try to figure out what was going on with the internet last night, and I still have no clue. But anyway, we're live this morning. Looks like we're streaming just fine, so we're just gonna kind of do like a redo. Anyway, if you're new to this channel or just stumbling into this channel, you might want to bookmark and bookmark all the links in the description. That way, if we get took down like a lot of other YouTubers out here, you got another way to follow us. We're going to jump into a few articles, and we're going to jump into Hurricane Lorenzo, the unnatural hurricane. And here we go. Toxic forever chemicals detected in the California drinking water. Now, these are toxic synthetic chemicals known as forever chemicals for their extreme hardiness to resist degradation once they are released into the environment, and have been detected in 74 California water sources that deliver water to more than 7.5 million people, according to a new research. Now, these are extremely persistent, and once they entered the bodies or the soil in very low doses, they have been linked to health problems like cholesterol levels, low infant birth weight, weakened immune system, thyroid issues, and even some cancers. I wonder if Fukushima has anything to do with this. So anyway, California water systems exceeded 1 part per trillion, which the environmental work group deems unsafe. 70 ppt that the EPA considers the threshold for adverse health impacts. 40% of the water systems tested has samples that exceeded the 70 ppm limit, which leads to lifetime health advisories. In fact, some of them were several times the EPA limit, including a well that serves the Marine Corps base camp in Pendleton. They had 820 parts. The problem is this stuff doesn't go away very easy here. So what do you think they'll do? They'll just raise the safe limit. The new data shows that the pollution in California is much more widespread than we knew, and almost 1 in 5 Californians served by a utility with at least some of its drinking water supply is contaminated. A well-known example, in 2005, DuPont settled a case action lawsuit for $70,000 dumping PFAS used in Teflon cookware into the mid-Ohio River Valley in Virginia and Ohio. This is going on in other states. Toxic water all over California, and they're probably not letting anybody know about it. And we did have 5 earthquakes in less than an hour here in Missouri. You know, they got this big shakeout exercise coming out this month, and they've been promoting this stuff for a long time. And we know they can create earthquakes with low frequencies, which everything that they're putting up, all the new technology is putting out frequencies, not to mention all the weather weapons. Now, we just reported on these smart lights and all these LEDs and 5G cameras and all this stuff all over Ohio, and how people are not able to sleep because of these lights. They put off these different kind of frequencies, you know, including like radiation frequencies. Well, here was a article that came out back in 2016 about how the doctors issued warnings about the LED street lights, but yet they still are just pumping these things out over and over. The AMA's annual meeting in Chicago on June 14th comes in response to the rise of the new LED street lighting sweeping the country. The AMA committee issued guidelines on how communities can choose LED streetlights to minimize potential harmful human health and environmental effects. Now, these LED lights are putting off certain frequencies that affect the body. So right here, you got 2 problems with the LED lighting. The temperature, which means it contains far less blue and more yellow and red wavelengths. Before electric light, we burned wood and candles. This artificial light has a CT of about 18,000 K, quite yellow, red, and almost no blue. Now what we have is very different. The new white LED street lighting is rapidly being retrofitted in cities throughout the country. That has 2 problems. First is the discomfort and glare, but the blue light scatters more in the human eye than the longer wavelengths of yellow and red, and they can damage the retina. This thing is also affecting the melanoma or whatever it is, so it's making it hard to sleep and all that stuff, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on here. But the thing is, they just keep pumping these things out. They don't care about your health. As long as they're making money, that's what they want. Hey, I want to take you over here. A lot of YouTube channels are getting took down. Here's one of my favorite channels, Ron Johnson with Stranger Than Fiction News. Let me copy this link here. I have him in the description. Make sure you subscribe to him. His last channel got took down again. Now, I used to do a lot of videos with Ron, and also helped him on the Stranger Than Fiction News Facebook page that's been took down like 20 times. We can see he's only got 120 subscribers, where, you know, his videos have had millions of views, and they just keep taking him out, man. He's deadly on the New World Order. That's why they don't like him. But you can also check him out here at STFNreport.com, and he sells the EMF meters pretty cheap too. I haven't got one yet, but I'm going to. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to Ron. I'm going to get him on the show sometimes. He's just in a different time zone, so it's hard to get him on here. And he's been a big help to me over the years, so we want to try to help him out. Make sure you sub to him. 5 earthquakes hit in less than an hour, rattle southeast Missouri, experts say. So like I said earlier, they're setting up for something with the earthquakes. You know, the new Madrid zone is actually now over in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, where they've fracked the crap out of the earth, which has relieved a lot of the stress. They're in the new Madrid seismic zone, but it still gets a few small quakes, but nothing like it should be getting. So here's Hurricane Lorenzo is too strong for where it is. Let's deal with the climate change question. So this is coming out of Forbes. You know they're going to blame this on the climate change. They're not going to blame it on what it really is, which is the climate control. They fail to mention all the weather engineering projects going on worldwide, from the ground, from the sea, from the air. It's just ridiculous that they hide this information out. We're going to get into this hurricane much deeper here in a few minutes. This thing should not even have formed. This is another Michael, another Dorian, completely man-made, defying all odds of the conditions for a hurricane. But we'll get into the hurricane here in a minute. Let me get through some of these articles real quick. 40 inches of snow in Montana. It's February, storm in September. If you want to know why you're getting more storm snow than you should be, well, all you got to do is go over here to the summary of the licensing and permitting for weather modification operations in Montana. So right here you can find out about how they've been modifying the weather since 1967, and it goes all the way up. You got your license. This is just like the Texas Driver's License Bureau. Every state is creating weather. They're all affecting the weather, every one of them. Here's the Montana weather modification regulations. All these links will be in the description, and when you go and you click on the links, they'll actually tell you what they're trying to do. Like right here, this is increase snowpack to the ski areas. Here's another one, augment snowpack. So they're all doing it, but yet they keep it hid from the public. So this is why you're getting tons of snow. We're watching it on the maps. We're seeing all the cloud seeding operations. Then you have all the ground-based tools that they use. And you can find out that all their licenses are all up to date. They renew them every year. In fact, you can come here to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and see in the late 1940s and 50s, many deemed a deliberate or inadvertent alteration of atmospheric conditions by human activity, also known as weather modification, as a promising science for the future. Currently, the most common form of weather modification is cloud seeding, which increases rain or snow, usually for the purpose of increasing the water supply. Weather modification can also have the goal of preventing damaging weather such as hail or hurricanes from occurring. How come they didn't stop Dorian? But here's a whole list, just tons and tons of lists of operations they done. Operation Snowbird, Augment Snowpack. Man, I haven't had all my coffee yet, so. Precipitation augmentation back in 2004, 2005. Hail suppression, 2004. So these go on and on, even though they deny they're doing it. You don't hear about any of this stuff on the local news. And here's some Montana Secretary of State, Corey Stapleton. You can read, you can get in and dig into all this stuff and find that they're doing weather modification through the state water projects, the water pollution control, Yellowstone River. I mean, it's just all here. They just don't tell you about it. Here's another document, and here's the licensing for the Montana Department of Natural Resources. And we got more AI supports agile working methods. This is the takeover of the AI, the transhumanism. I'm not really going to get into this article. Links in the description. And here's another one. Report Cirrus gave nearly $25 million to the global climate strike activists. This guy is always funding. He's part of the dark side. And then we have this that just started yesterday. Facebook has begun hiding likes. The social media giant is testing hiding the number of likes, reactions, views, and posts that you get. See, they can't just leave stuff alone. Truthers are putting a cramp in the New World Order style, so they're just going to keep on blocking us. Now, this started off in Australia on the 27th. What happened to our dislike button? They were supposed to give you a dislike button and they never did do it. It might offend somebody. So, you know, they're just going to keep trying to silence us. And I looked, here's the spectrum outage map. You can see there's tons of outages right now over Missouri, heavy over Florida, parts of California, just all over the map. Now, some of these guys have been out for weeks. So you got Comcast is down, not just Spectrum. Tons of internet outages going on. They're trying to make all the internet suck, so you have to get the 5G and the newer technologies. I mean, they're going to force it on you. I mean, that's what they do. Hurricane Lorenzo has become a record-breaking storm, and an odd one too. While the storm poses no immediate threat to land, it could approach the Azores and eventually the British Islands next week. Hurricane Lorenzo rapidly strengthened into a scale-topping Category 5 hurricane on Saturday evening, the maximum sustained winds reaching 160 miles an hour. This breaks the record for both the easternmost and northernmost Category 5 ever recorded in the Atlantic. Of course, they're going to blame this on climate change, on the ocean temperatures, but we can go show you that the temperatures are actually much, much cooler than they were in previous years. It's not heating up. Now we'll check the tracks. I know they keep changing. I mean, some of the tracks are showing it going up towards Greenland and Iceland. So we'll check that here in a minute. And here is the projected rain map. All right, let's just get out of all these mainstream articles. You know, when we're talking about the NextRad and the frequencies, this is what's inside the NextRad. You always got buildings underneath the NextRad. You usually got 3 buildings. You have a diesel power building. You have another backup building, and then you have this calystrons. I've talked about these before, but these things are radioactive. They put off radiation. You know, these are almost like a mini CERN, man. They're like a Hadron Collider, but like a tube. It shoots electrons through these holes. I'm not going to get very deep into this. I'll do that later. All right, so let's go ahead and check Lorenzo. We're back here on the 22nd. And let me see where we are on the Earth. No, we're on the 22nd. So right in here is where this hurricane forms. Now you can see the dust. This is the Sahara dust layer. And we can also put the dust layer right on this map. If I can click the right one and see, it's just being inundated with Sahara dust, which should keep any hurricane from forming. We've been watching this thing just tear apart hurricane after hurricane, tropical storm after tropical storm. Now let me just take this up.